think Americans hate inflation.
That certainly was
They hate
part of it.
inflation, they hate riots, and they hate black women.
Okay, he's drinking the Kool-Aid. I don't know what he's going on about. America hates black women. America does hate inflation. America hates inflation.
I think the whole country, even unless you're like stupid woke, I hope you're not, but you know, it is Hollywood.
Somewhat stupidly woke.
Okay. The whole country was like, I mean, I think the biggest issue for the election, one of the biggest ones, was Democrats pointlessly, totally just punted on immigration and let anybody who wanted to walk in for 3.5 years did. And, you know.
Well, I think they would probably disagree that people walking in probably felt like it was a little harder.
No, actually, there's a great 60 Minutes piece on it where the border, I mean, you don't get 8 million people here by making it difficult. But you see they're walking through and that border guys are just watching them do it. They're just watching them walk past. You never saw that?
I did not see that.
See, that doesn't get in the liberal media. That's the problem, is the bubbles we live in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, 60 Minutes arguably is the liberal media. So I don't think that
right. But 60 Minutes is still a show that I think, you know, can not as consistent as it used to, but they do things like that.
Mm-hmm.
They also did a great piece some years ago about a woman in London who was in the Muslim neighborhoods, and you know.
One thing I don't understand about so-called woke people is the fact that they never just make sense. And here I am saying this, but here's my problem. Someone like John Cryer, who he called himself woke. He called himself like unrealistically woke or so on and so forth. The thing about it is that a lot of things that they like side with, a lot of their ideologies are just illegal. For example, illegal immigration. They are mass advocates for illegal immigration, but even the concept of that is just wrong. It's illegal. You're not a fan of immigration, which, okay, you're a fan of immigration. Immigration is a very positive thing for a land. You're a fan specifically of illegal immigration. It's like when I hear them speak sometimes, I'm like, there's no way that you're okay up here. It's no way. You're actively supporting something that is just wrong. It's not even about whether or not it's subjectively wrong. It's just wrong. You just support it. But anyways, my name is LFR Jojo. I hope you guys enjoy this. Let's get into a Bill Maher and John Cryer debate on all the woke topics. Let's go.
You know, they're screaming at her because she's wearing a skirt and stuff like that. And, you know, the point of it was, you know, there are places in Western civilizations that are, like, run not by Western standards. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean they're just different.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, there are cultural enclaves everywhere. You know,
right, but we should agree that women should be able to wear what they want.
Yes.
If you don't agree with that, then you're not a liberal to begin with.
Well,
women,
yes.
Call me a crazy liberal, but I think women should have freedom.
I agree as well.
Okay.
I agree as well.
But they don't in these neighborhoods. It was the 60 Minutes piece that they did.
One could argue that that women don't have the freedom to dress where they are, dress how they want to dress in many places. They used to get catcalled all the time. They used to, you know,
Used to.
Well,
we're talking about now.
Well,
yeah, a lot of shit used to happen, but what's going on now in the world? Would you really want to have your wife live in Gaza or any place where? No, I mean before
war-torn strip of desert.
No, even before the war, you know, where she would have to cover up.
Well, again, that's not. I don't live there. It's not my culture. You know.
And you won't judge it.
I'm not going to judge it, no. But again, this is not
that's crazy woke to me.
Okay.
That's where it all went off the rails. When we became so tolerant that we tolerate intolerance. I mean, you would never allow something like that to happen in this country. If they proposed a law tomorrow at the LA City Council, women have to cover their face when they go out. I assume you'd be against that.
Well, yes, I would. But again, you know, there are they're all, again, this is a long, subject that
We stumbled onto.
We stumbled onto, exactly. I also, this was started with the immigration, which, I don't feel like demonizing immigrants and migrants and saying that you want to deport millions of people. I think the history of mass deportations is horrifying.
But there's but we weren't talking about deportations. Of course, that's horrifying.
Yes.
And an overcorrection. What we were talking about was letting
Democrats
too many people in to begin with.
But too many people, and well, again, this is going to be a long conversation that we probably. Is this how you want to spend your time?
I never have any plan.
You did 2,000 episodes of Politically Incorrect,
I never have any,
and you're still going down this.
I never have any plan for this show.
Oh, okay.
Plainly.
Yes, clearly.
So, yeah, if you don't want to talk about that politics at all,
well,
I shouldn't, because I really started this podcast to get away from it. So you're right. I kind of fucked up.
Yes.
But I don't know. Sometimes people say things that trigger me. And of course, we just had the election, and I feel like my conscience is very clear. I warned everybody about Trump, and then I warned them about what would get him reelected, which was stupid wokeness, which is what got him reelected. So I feel my conscience is very clear that I told you and I told you and I told you, and I lost fans for it. Lots of the super woke that like I'm not woke enough for them. Yeah, but like I think I had it right. Like that kind of stuff is what lost the election for the Democrats. It's in all.
Maybe part of it. I don't know. I think a lot.
They have polling on it.
I think it's inflation. I think Americans hate inflation.
That certainly was
They hate
part
inflation,
of it.
they hate riots, and they hate black women.
They
hate.
Okay, he's drinking the Kool-Aid. I don't know what he's going on about. America hates black women. America does hate inflation. America hates inflation. America hates things that just don't make sense. Americans are very... What's the word I'm looking for? We're very profit-minded. We know what money's supposed to do. We know how far our dollar is supposed to go, and we're very family-oriented. So things that don't align with our family, the well-being of ourselves, and the well-being of the hard-earned money we make, we're anti that. When it comes to illegal immigration, the reason Americans are very anti-illegal immigration is the reason why Trump won the presidential election, is because they were giving illegal immigrants substantial financial benefits while Americans were literally struggling to get housing. Americans were struggling to pay for things, and they're giving that money to illegal immigrants. Americans make sense in their problems. He's going on some weird woke, America hates all these things. They hate the power of black women, but they don't hate black men. They only hate black women. They hate all these things. It has nothing to do with illegal immigrants. America, come on, bro. Anyways, let's continue.
Trans people.
God, John, we're not
Dude, they just spent hundreds of millions of dollars demonizing trans people, and that's disgusting.
Yeah, we shouldn't talk politics.
Okay, we shouldn't. We shouldn't. Great. We don't have to.
No. And this, I have this kind of relationship with people on the right also who like. Yeah, it's just going to take so long to even have this discussion. Mm-hmm. And I want, just like I would like to deprogram them, I feel like there's things that don't get in your bubble on the left that I would love to deprogram, but it's probably not the place to do it.
Yeah.
But,
you can try. if that's how you want to spend your leisure hours, deprogramming Ducky. There's a spinoff. But I feel like the immigration argument gets sidetracked because people just assume that there's a lot of generalizations about immigrants that dehumanize them and are untrue. You are mad that they let that many immigrants in because you think they increase crime? Because they don't. Because they increase they decrease wages? Well, no, they don't. There's a whole bunch of
they literally increase crime. And here's how I know you don't know what you're talking about. And If you let in illegal immigrants and one illegal immigrant commits a crime, they increase crime, because what is the alternative? No illegal immigrants. No illegal immigrants will lead to zero crimes committed by illegal immigrants. Therefore, if it was one illegal immigrant who committed a crime, there is an increase of crime committed by illegal immigrants. But I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole of who commits the most crime, if they're safe or not safe. I'm not going to go on down that rabbit hole. I'm going to speak from this perspective of why people have a problem with illegal immigrants. They have a problem with illegal immigrants because an American citizen or a legal immigrant has to pay taxes. They have to pay taxes on their house. They have to pay taxes on their salaries. They have to pay taxes on every single dollar they make. And every time they buy something, they have to pay taxes. They have to be tracked by the government via a social security. They have to get car insurance. They have to get home insurance. They have to get insurance for their children. They have to do certain things, or guess what? They're going to go to jail. The reason I'm bringing this up is because if you take an illegal immigrant, meaning you are illegal, you don't have the same responsibilities necessarily of a legal immigrant or a United States citizen naturally born, then you do have a benefit. You have a benefit in this country. You're not going to get tracked down by the IRS if you don't pay taxes if you're an illegal immigrant, because you don't have a social security number for the United States for them to even know whether or not you pay taxes or not. All I'm saying is illegal immigrants have an unfair advantage over American citizens. That's the problem. And when you look in the news and you see illegal immigrants being housed and given stipends on staying in the country, oh, now it's a real problem. Illegal immigrants are coming to the country making thousands of dollars. I'm not going to say hundreds of thousands, but they're making a fair living without having the same responsibility as an American citizen. It's really that simple. Other than the fact that there are safety concerns, people getting trafficked across the border, drug concerns, people selling drugs across the border, I'm not even going to get into that. I'm just going to bring up the practicality of it. Also, it's illegal. That's another thing. It's illegal. It goes against legal immigration, which I don't think these people understand that. But let's continue.
Of arguments that anti-immigration people make, and you say, okay, Democrats left them
I'm
in.
not an anti-immigration people. I
Okay,
said,
you say.
What I said was,
well, wait a minute.
Okay.
So
Sorry.
you're the one saying Democrats are letting in immigrants, and they just
they did.
they punted it. Okay, you're absolutely right. Immigration did go up during those years.
Well, asylum. They changed the definition of asylum, and they
yes.
immediately reversed Trump's like stay in Mexico or wait in Mexico or something. He
Yes,
had a different
chill
policy.
out in Mexico.
I mean,
Is that-
chill out in Mexico. Yes.
Just fucking chill, man. Wait there.
And we were still, letting in, as we should. We are a nation of immigrants, and we need immigrants.
There you go.
But most Americans felt, including lots of Democrats and people of color, and he won the Latino vote by half. Come on, man. Like, at a certain point, everybody was around the idea that, okay, immigration, fine, but it has to be somewhat orderly, and not anyone.
Yes, and again,
and asylum had a certain specific meaning, which went up in the air. They overcorrected.
You could be right. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I also feel like obviously, you can say Democrats took too long to address it, but then they did. And Trump, of course, killed it. So he doesn't care about that. And again, you've been outspoken.
That's true too.
And I
I
appreciate that, by the way, for you, that you were being outspoken. I appreciate that you lost fans. They needed more free time. It's better that they don't watch your show.
It actually is.
I'm sorry?
It actually is, because they're just, here's how I know they changed and not me. It used to be the conservatives, the Jerry Falwell types, who you would do a stick up their ass joke about. Now it's the woke. They're the ones with the stick up their ass. They're the ones who don't have a sense of humor. They're the ones who are too sensitive. They're the ones, marching for Hamas, doing things like that.
Again, I think conflating people marching for, to not have Israelis, the IDF, carpet bombing is different than marching for Hamas. And yes, Hamas is a terrorist organization. They are a mafia organization. I do not support them in any way.
Well,
again, yes, I know they are going to be
ground.
saying, "Wow, Ducky is not on our side.
Ducky.
This is crushing to our movement. We've lost Ducky." But my point being that conflating those two, and obviously there are outrages on the right and there are outrages on the left, and the right wing media ecosystem is just a constant outrage engine, and constant, and that is very pernicious to America, to having a nation.
So I was only watching MSNBC. Not as bad. I mean, the right wing is definitely more dangerous because they don't believe in conceding elections.
Yes,
we are
exactly.
we are already past what I called, even before he won the first time, a slow-moving coup.
Yes.
Because when one side concedes, as the Democrats just did, and one side we know would not,
yes,
you're already past democracy. You are already. I mean, they make it sound like, we had a smooth election. Yeah, smooth when they win. That's not good enough for me. It has to be smooth when whoever wins.
Yes.
I 100% agree with that. I 100% agree with Bill Maher saying that the election should be smooth regardless of who wins or who doesn't win. I will say this, however, and I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist because that's not what I'm doing. I'm just adding a little bit of fairness to, I guess, the extreme right-wing perspective that existed in 2020 onward, where they refused to concede the election. There were doubts on whether or not that election was fair. I'm not saying it wasn't fair. I'm saying that there were genuine doubts. They have entire documentaries about the possible rigging of an election. I'm not saying it happened. I don't even believe it happened. However, when you add in the doubt that an election could have been rigged, when you add in the fact that during that time, Donald Trump was openly being banned from social media platforms. He was not allowed the same voice as Democratic candidates. When you look at that happening, and then you see people who refuse to acknowledge the fact that it was a fair election, it kind of makes sense. It would be different if this election or the 2020 election was similar to other elections and people still refuse to acknowledge the fact that he lost. If that was the case, I would say, yeah, those people were 100% at fault. And I still think those people were at fault for saying the election was completely rigged. I don't believe that, but I am capable of understanding why someone believes that. There were things that happened during that time where it was a little questionable. Why is the presidential-elect being banned from social media platforms? Isn't that a little strange? Why is information being suppressed during that time? Isn't that a little strange? Anyways, I don't want to get too deep into those conspiracies. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but let me know what you guys think in the comments below. My name is LFR Jojo, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.